Hey you guys, welcome back. It's Michelle B here with your third installment of our Bulldog Beginner series. Today we're going to really spend a lot of time spending, oh my goodness, can't get my words out right today. Standing upright, we're going to review some of the warrior poses that we learned earlier last week and the first week we were together, and then build on working on some balancing poses. So I hope you're ready. It's going to be a great workout. Grab a hold of your 2 blocks. That can be very, very handy when you're learning to balance, and I'll meet you on our mat. All right, so just to sort of establish movement and breath together, we're going to get going down on hands and knees here. Make sure your 2 blocks are somewhat towards the top of your mat. Plant your fingers down, spreading them nice and wide, stacking your joints, and let's take a few rounds of cat and cow here. So toes can be tucked or untucked. We're going to inhale, soften the belly down, arch through the spine, lift the chin. And exhale, start to dome. So pull your belly in, lift it up towards the ceiling as you draw your chin inwards. Do that again. Deep breath in. Think of pressing your shoulders together as you drop the belly down. And then exhale, reverse that. Shoulders pulling away from one another. Tuck your chin. Let's take one more deep breath in for that nice steady 4 count. Exhale for the same length of time here. Good. And then come back to center. We're going to find a high plank. So starting to really warm up the entire body, but I want you to focus on your core. So core is super helpful when you're learning to balance. So pull your belly in nice and tight. Think of bringing it in and up towards your spine and draw your ribs together. Think of pressing the mat away and drawing your palms towards your toes towards your heels, feeling that dynamic tension, and stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to lift your hips up and back. You can always soften through those knees and find downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out through your legs. Keeping it slow, moving quickly on your own pace here. Nice work, you guys. Keep on pressing your chest towards your thighs as you lift your tailbone a little higher up towards the ceiling. And then just pause, holding here. Inhale. Exhale. And good. Let's take one more deep breath in. Really connecting with that upside down V shape in our bodies as we exhale. And then lift high up on your tippy toes and gaze towards your thumbs. Start to walk your feet all the way forward. Keep your feet a good hip distance apart. We're going to come into ragdoll, a nice forward fold here. So grab a hold of opposite elbows and just rock your hips side to side. Really connecting with that stretch through the back of the legs, those hamstrings. Good, and let your head just hang and be super heavy here. And then come back to center, release your elbows, set your hands to your hips. On an inhale, hug your elbows nice and in, and exhale, press down through those feet. Let's come all the way up to stand. Nice work, everyone. So I'm going to turn myself and face you guys. I'm going to keep the feet hip distance apart, and we're going to come into a chair pose. So drop your arms down by your side. On an inhale, arms reach up, palms facing in towards one another. And exhale, start to bend into your knees. Good, we're just going to hold here. Starting to create a little bit more fire in those legs. And then just pause, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Good. Inhale, start to straighten your legs. Drop your arms down by your side. And then exhale, rebend, find your chair. Good, do that 2 more times. Inhale, press through those feet, straighten. Exhale, bend. So you're not coming into a squat, right? One more time. Inhale, press and straighten. And then exhale, find that chair and hold. This time we're going to consider lifting one leg up at a time, starting with that right leg. Inhale, press through the left foot. Draw your right knee to 90. Exhale, lower back to your chair. Lift the left leg and lower. So I love to do this as I work on creating some balance in the body. And I find it a little easier to get into with the feet hip distance apart. Good. Let's take it one more on each side. Whew. Might start to feel your booty working a little bit here, and then come back to that chair. Take one more deep breath in, and exhale, straight. Drop your arms down by your side. Find your tall mountain pose. So I want you to bend forward and bring those blocks a little closer towards your mat, about shoulder distance apart on the lowest setting. All right, return back to your mountain pose. Take an inhale and sweep your arms up towards the ceiling, maybe gaze up. And then exhale, circle your arms nice and wide. As you drop your hands down towards your blocks, come halfway up into a flat back. You can bring your hands to your shins. And then exhale, plant your hands on your blocks, step your feet back, return to a plank pose. Good. So this is going to make sense in just a moment. We're going to work on guiding our foot forward towards the top of our mat rather than stepping back into a lunge. So take one more deep breath in here. And on your exhale, lift your hips high to the sky, find downward facing dog. So my palms are really towards the edges of the blocks here. And what this is going to do is help me learn to set my foot between my hands using core strength. And you might notice you don't have to take as many steps forward, especially if you're newer to this. All right, so maybe bring your big toes a little closer towards each other. We're gonna hug in through those inner thighs and see if you can send your right leg straight up and back behind you. Now, just as we stepped through earlier before, gaze towards your thumbs. Start to bend that right knee, round through your spine, drawing that knee into the chest, and step your foot through. Awesome work. We're gonna come into our high lunge. First, starting with those airplane arms, breathe in, and then exhale, reach your fingers forward, and lift your chest. So a little bit more work for that right hip when you're guiding the foot forward, as opposed to stepping it back, which we did the first and second week. Let's just hold here. Take one more deep breath and reach high. Exhale, release your hands down to your blocks. Same idea. Think of pressing your hands into your blocks. Lift high up on those left tippy toes. Pull your right knee in towards your chest. Step it back, find downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. A deep breath out. All right. Walk your toes a little closer together. Hug in through those inner thighs. Find some dynamic tension. Extend your left leg straight up and back. Bending at the knee. Draw your knee in towards your nose as you round through your spine, coming through center. Gaze forward and plant your foot through. Inhale, find your airplane arms. Exhale, sweep your fingers forward. Lift your chest. I'm going to show you the modification. Let's not forget it. You can always tap your back knee down whenever the high lunge is a bit too much. All right. So this is almost working our way towards a balancing pose because our feet aren't aligned with each other. Let's go ahead and take one more breath. Maybe reach a little higher. Lower your hands down to your blocks. If the back knee is down, you're going to lift it up. Press your hands into your blocks. Guide that left knee into the chest. And then swing your hips high as you plant the foot down. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Walk your feet a little closer. We're going to head towards Warrior 2 now. Same idea. Inhale, send that right leg high to the sky. Pull your knee in towards your nose as you round forward. Gaze forward and plant your right foot through. This time you're going to spin your back heel down. Reach your left arm out long in front of you and let it guide you up into your Warrior 2. Nice work, you guys. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So now we've really worked. We've been in Warrior 2. Each week we've been together. See if you can feel a little stronger in this shape. Really owning your strength and your power. Take one more deep breath in. And a settling exhale. Good. Flip your front palm, just one breath. Radiate your warrior, guiding your right arm up and back. And then exhale like a cartwheel. Lower your hands down, framing out your front foot. Lift off your back heel. Step your right foot back. Lift your hips high to the sky, downward facing. Good. All right, one more side to go. Let's send that left leg, reach it up and back behind you.
Round through your spine as you guide your knee in towards your nose, gaze to your thumbs, and plant your foot down. Lower through your back heel. This time the right arm will sweep forward, and then it will propel you up to warrior two. So remember, especially if you're newer to these shapes, you would never expect anyone in your life, a child, to pick up an instrument or do a new sport and get it perfectly the first few times, right? So don't put that expectation on yourself either. Nobody gets a new puppy and thinks it's going to be potty trained in a day. So give yourself time, but just notice with this repetition of coming into these shapes over and over again, how you feel a bit more comfortable, how you can find some ease in the effort. Take one more breath. Good. And then flip that front palm. Take your top arm, reach it up and back. And then on your exhale, big cartwheel down. Hands will frame out the left foot. Lift off your right heel, knee to nose. Step it back, downward facing dog. If you would prefer child's pose, you know how to get there. We're going to be here for one more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Good. Gaze towards your thumbs, come high up in your tippy toes. Little baby steps, bringing your feet up towards the top of the mat. You can place those blocks back off to the side. Just make sure they're towards the top of the mat, framing your feet. Hang heavy for a moment here. And then press through your feet. Come all the way up to stand. Stretch from your feet to your fingers. And then on an exhale, find your tall mountain pose. All right, once again, I'm going to turn myself to face you guys. We're going to come into our first balancing pose, tree pose. So you will see this pose often in our Activate and even Invigorate classes. It's a great way to learn how to balance. So balance is always about learning not to fall and really building strength in this supporting leg, the leg that's firmly planted to the ground. Think of all the other stuff as just fluff. It's really about this standing leg. So I want you to really root down through your left foot. You can start with your hands at your hips. Option 1, place your right heel to your left ankle. Okay? Not even lifting the foot off the floor. This is a perfect place to work balance. And actually, what I would like to recommend you doing is the next time you're doing the dishes, brushing your teeth or talking on the phone, you come into the shape, okay? Or you can lift the foot a little higher, bring it to the inside of your left shin. If you want to use your right hand, you can place it to the inside of your right thigh. All right, so no place, not one of those options is better than the other. You do what works best for you. And remember, all the focus is on this standing left leg. So you can bring your hands into prayer if you want. Now, you can kind of tend to lean, thinking you're giving yourself a little support by bringing that left hip over to the left. But I want to see how tall you can grow so you remain long and strong through both sides of your body. And remember, a lot of core work involved with balance. Promise I won't hold you here too much longer. Go ahead, take one more big breath in. And then exhale, release it. Find your mountain pose. Ooh, you can always shake out your legs if you need to. And then we're going to do that very same thing on the other leg. So one leg might feel a little stronger than the other one. Start to notice that. Pay attention. You can bring your hands to your hips. And the left ankle can come to the right side of your ankle, the shin, or maybe the thigh. So you choose. Try not to shift all your weight into that right hip. Think of pressing your inner thigh towards your foot. Hands can come to prayer. And you're balancing. So my husband was actually just pointing it out the other day. We were talking, I was at the kitchen sink, and we happened to be talking about yoga, what I was planning to teach my class plan for last weekend. And he's like, I love how you're talking to me about yoga in tree pose. I'm like, I know, I follow my own advice, and I do it all the time, just like I tell my students. Give yourself one more breath here. Exhale. Feels so good to have 2 feet on the ground, doesn't it? Go ahead, shake it out, do what you need to do, reset. All right, awesome work. Okay, so we're gonna come into another balancing shape that you'll see here frequently in both our Activate and Invigorate classes. And we're just gonna break it down today, keeping it nice and simple. Of course, there's other places that you can take it that I will briefly show you. But again, think of the entire point
of building strength along this standing leg. All right, so I'm going to turn to face the front because we're going to head into airplane pose. So press down through your left foot. Remember when we were in that chair and I asked you to bring your knee to 90? I want you to do that again here. Then bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in, get nice and tall, plug your belly into your spine. And on an exhale, it's a hip hinge. You're going to start to extend that right leg straight back behind you. Keep your foot flexed, all 5 toes on that foot pointing straight down. If this is too much, just stay here. All right, work on your balance from this place. You're still going to really be feeling that left leg, I promise. All right. So if you want to take the full option for airplane, just like we do before heading into a high lunge, you're going to float your arms behind you and breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze through that left booty. Let's take one more big breath in. And exhale. Bring yourself back to center, mountain pose. How did that feel? I'm telling you guys, it's hard to talk and balance at the same time. All right, let's do it on the other side. Hands can return to your hips if you want, or come right into prayer. You're going to start to press down through that right foot. Lift your left knee to 90. From here, pull your belly in, go nice and tall. Hinge from your hips and start to extend that left leg straight back behind you. Sometimes I'm finding a little bit of a micro bend through my standing leg for a little added support. So I'm keeping all of the work in my muscles and not in my bones and joints. All 5 toes on that back foot pointing straight down. Stay. Or bring your arms behind you like airplane wings here and inhale. Exhale. Good, you guys. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, mountain pose. Nice work. Awesome job, you guys. All right, we're going to work on one more balancing pose before moving on, okay? I don't want to kill you with too much balancing work here. We'll keep building on. So another pose, I'm going to turn myself to face you guys. You'll see a lot in any yoga class that you take is called eagle pose. We particularly do it a lot around football season here. So you're going to bring your big toes to touch. All right, I like to get started almost like in a chair pose, but with my arms down by my side or to my hips. All right, from here, start to take your arms out wide into a T. And then you're going to cross your arms, bringing your right arm underneath your left. Okay, from here, you can grab a hold of opposite shoulders, or you can bring your palms together. Keep on twisting through your arms. If either of those options is a lot, you can bring your elbows, palms, and forearms together. All right, so you decide what feels best for you. Or even if this is a bit too much and you want to work on eventually bringing those hands together, maybe strain through the left arm, but keep the right fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. All right, from here, lift your right leg, wrap it up and over your left. So you can point your toes down. You can even place those toes underneath the block if you have one nearby to support the balance. And you're going to stay low, almost as though you were in a chair with your legs. If you want to play with maybe lifting the toes, testing your balance, you can always tap them right back down. So you can lift and lower. Let's stay here for one more lift and maybe hold 3. Stay with your breath for 2. And unravel on your 1 like a firecracker. Release the foot, arms reach up nice and high. Exhale, mountain pose. All right, one more side, that's it. We're gonna bend into those knees. Take the arms out nice and wide. This time as we make that cross, that big X with the arms, left arm comes underneath right. Shoulders, palms, elbows, forearms together, or maybe, what is it? Yeah, you're just bending the left hand and keeping the right arm straight, so you can decide which one works best for you. Now, start to pick up that left foot, wrap it around your right leg. So we're not coming into like a figure 4 shape. We really want to squeeze those legs together. So this is creating a lot of compression in our joints. So when we release out of them, we're sending a lot of fresh oxygenated blood throughout the body. And you can keep the toes down and just play with lift and lower, lift and lower. Good. One more breath. Maybe hover the toes and breathe for 3, 2. Release on your 1. Arms reach nice and high. Exhale, drop your arms down by your side. Nice job, you guys. All right. Face the front of your mat if you're not already there. Maybe bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. Just connect with your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up nice and high. And exhale, circle your arms wide as you fold in half. This time we're just going to lower down to have a seat. So bending at your knees, plant your sitting bones down. Maybe bring your blocks a little bit more like midway down your mat, and let's lay all the way back. All right, so as I was mentioning earlier on, core strength is really important for balancing poses. So I thought I would introduce some of the core practices that we do here at Bulldog. Starting with some simple crunches, and then we'll keep building from there. So bring your hands behind your head. And I want you to think as you're lifting up to keep the elbows just as wide as they are now. When we tend to lift up and bring the elbows in, we put too much pressure on the neck. We put more of the work in that area of the body than in the core, which is where we want to keep it. So think of elbows wide. Take a deep breath in on the floor. And exhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Lower. And lift. Let's go 5 more. Keep on exhaling as you lift up. Exhale on the exertion here. We're going to hold up in 3, 2, 1. Hold it here and take tiny little pulses. Just lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Good. Really pulling that low belly in. So your entire spine is rooted to the mat. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. You can release your head, neck, and shoulders. Drop your arms down by your side. And pause here. Keep your left foot on the floor. Start to pull your right knee into your chest. Now, like you're curling yourself up, knit those ribs together again. Pull your belly down towards your spine. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Your forehead might even tap your knees. Maybe not. Extend your left leg long. See if you can just hover it. Take a deep breath in. Switch on your exhale. Left knee in, right leg hovers. Inhale. Exhale, switch. Single leg stretch here. Moving from side to side. If it's too much on your neck and shoulders, drop the head down. No worries. You're still going to feel this work, particularly in your lower abdominals. If you start to notice your low back lifting as you extend one leg at a time here, just bend your knee and take it from there. All right. The lower you drop the heel, the more intense it's going to be for your core. Good. Let's go 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Drop your arms down by your side. Awesome job, you guys. All right, from here, maybe take a few windshield wipers. And then pull your knees into your chest. We're going to find happy baby. So you're going to thread your hands through your legs. Grab the outer edges of your feet if that's available to you. And then you're just going to stamp your knees down towards the mat. Think of pressing your heels up towards the ceiling and maybe like a little happy baby here. Just roll gently from side to side. Getting a nice stretch for the inner thighs, for the lower back. Good. Take one more breath. And then pull those knees back into your chest. Plant the soles of your feet to the mat. Grab a hold of one of your blocks. I want you to place it on the narrowest setting between your inner thighs. So pretty close down towards your groins. And I want you to be able to feel your heels with your fingertips. We're going to come into a bridge. I love to work bridge pose with a block between the knees, particularly if you're newer to these shapes, because I'll see a lot of students separate their knees a little too wide as they lift into a big back bend like bridge pose, and that's just not going to be great for the lower back over time. All right, so working on squeezing in through that block is going to keep the knees pointing in the right direction, straight out in front of you. And it's going to also encourage you to recruit the muscles from where you need to come into a big back bend, particularly the legs, especially those inner thighs, hammies, and glutes. So you can start with your arms down by your side. Again, you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. Take an inhale. And exhale. See if you can lift your hips. Doesn't have to be super big. And breathe here. Keep hugging in through that block. Notice how your glutes become a bit more engaged. Think of bringing your heels towards your shoulders. Good. Take one more deep breath in like this. And then lower down. You can keep your block as it is. And just rock your knees gently side to side. Awesome work. All right, we're going to do that one more time with the block. Fingertips feeling the heels before we lift off. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift. Maybe scoot your shoulders a little closer together and you can interlace your fingers at your lower back. Keep hugging in through the block. All of your energy, all of your muscular energy pulling in towards the midline. We're going to take two more here. Inhale. Exhale, keep squeezing through the glutes. Maybe send your hips a little higher. Finish strong. Finish bulldog strong. That's it. Nice work, you guys. Lower down. Place that block off to the side. Separate your feet about mat distance apart. Knock your knees together. And take a few windshield wipers. Good. So from here, we're going to come back to center, feet about hip distance apart. Draw the right knee into the chest and extend your left leg nice and long. Let the heel connect with the mat. Really think of getting long through the left leg, though. So think of the heel going closer and closer towards the top of your mat. Keep hugging your right knee in. Take one more breath as you are. Relax your shoulders. And then making sure all your props are off to the side. Left hand to the outside of your right knee or thigh. Begin to guide the leg across your body and come into a spinal twist. So you can always grab a hold of one of those blocks and place it on any setting underneath your right knee for a little added support. I want you to really make sure that that right shoulder stays connected to the mat. Good. And take one more breath. Awesome work, you guys. Bring your leg back through center. Let's give it one more good squeeze. Maybe bring the forehead up to meet the knee. And then plant the right foot down. Plant the left foot down. And then we'll pull the left knee in. Reach out nice and long through that right heel. And hold here. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep breath in. Letting your nervous system settle as you exhale. And then bring the knee over the hip. Right hand to the outside of the left knee or the thigh. Take the leg across the body. Again, you can grab your block and place it on any setting underneath the knee. Take your left arm out nice and long. You can even gaze over your fingertips if you want. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more here. Inhale. Exhale. And then when you're ready, start to pull that left knee back into your chest. You can interlace your fingers and bring your forehead up to the knee. And then let's just extend that left leg long to meet the right. Separate your feet, mat distance apart. Arms down by your side with the palms open. Just notice what you feel here. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. This final breath together, I want you to squeeze everything in. So make tight fists with your palms, curl your toes, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your belly, squeeze your legs, hugging the muscle to the bone. Feeling this tension, take one more deep breath in as you are. And then exhale, let it all go and arrive here. So you are welcome to hang out in final rest for as little or as long as you'd like. This is like the end-all be-all in terms of mastering a yoga pose if you ask me. So feel free to stay as you are. I'm just going to start to roll my way up as I say goodbye. Alrighty. Well, everyone, I hope that felt great in your body. I hope you feel a bit more comfortable coming into some balancing poses. I know it's a lot of work, but you guys did an amazing job today. So just really rest in that you showed up and you just did the darn thing. So thank you once again, Bulldog. I hope to see you next week. Have a great week, and we'll see you in any of our other classes offered online very soon.